Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to do a update on RGBA with all their fighters. The biggest news coming out today: Alejandro Guerrero, 10-0, 9 knockouts. Just signed a contract with Cameron Duncan's Now Promotions. Duncan reported via an interview on Ring TV that the goal is to get Porkchop on a network, on a TV network, to expose him as much as possible. And Cameron also has 4 or 5 other fighters that he's currently promoting. Jared, that's a typo on Jared Boot, and it's his name. So if you want to follow Porkchop, he's at Porkchop_214. He has been with Robert Garcia and has done a couple training camps out in Riverside. And he was scheduled to fight this summer, but I think he just had him and his girlfriend, or him and his wife just had a baby. So congratulations to Porkchop Guerrero for signing to Cameron Duncan's Now Promotions. At Porkchop_214 if you want to follow him on Instagram. And then last Saturday, Alexis El Macizo Espino from Las Vegas improved to 4-0. He pro debuted in Tijuana in February, and he's fought in Las Vegas, and he's fought in Rhode Island. And then he's the only fighter from the RGBA stable signed to Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. He fought in Hermosillo. So if you want to follow him, he's at _Alexis Espino 1. Here's a picture of some of the amateur talent out of RGBA Riverside. And then Mikey Garcia reported yesterday via Rainbow that he has not signed with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, but that Eddie has continued to put great offers on the table for him to join Matchroom Boxing. 39-1, 30 knockouts, Mikey Garcia. We have not heard. He did report that he wants to fight by the end of the year, but we don't know if the goal is to fight at 147 or 140. At Team Mikey Garcia on Instagram if you want to follow him. Abner Mares, 31-3-1. He's recovering from detached retina, but he has the green light to start training again. He's been on the diet. I follow him on Instagram, so he's probably been dieting for a good 3 or 4 weeks now, and we're gonna start seeing videos of him training soon. So at Abner Mares on Instagram, or at Abner Mares Official on Instagram as well. Josesito Lopez has a fight coming up on September 28th versus John Molina Jr. From West Covina, and that will take place on the Spence Porter undercard in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. At Jose Lopez on Instagram if you want to follow him. 36-8, Josesito Riverside Rocky Lopez. Jose Carlos Ramirez improved to 25-0, 17 knockouts. He's the current WBC and WBO champion. He went to the opponent's backyard and took the belt from Maurice Hooker, and even fought on the DAZN network. So he is promoted by Rick Meridian and Top Rank. So congratulations to them. He is a unified champion with the WBC and the WBO. At JC Ramirez 2012 if you want to follow him on Instagram. Jose Carlos Ramirez from Avenal, from the Central Valley, California. Brandon Bam Bam Rios, 35-5-1. At Brandon Rios 1 if you want to follow him on Instagram. The latest, his last fight was in February versus Humberto La Zorrita Soto. It was rumored that he had a 3-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing, so he fought at the end of last year versus Canelo's younger brother. I believe that fight was in Kansas, and then this fight was in February. So we don't know if he's officially retired or if he's going to fight one last fight under Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. At Brandon Rios 1 if you want to follow him on Instagram. Esquiva Falcao, 24-0, 16 knockouts. He improved to 24-0. He had his last fight July 19th in Maryland. If you want to follow him, he's at Esquiva Falcao. He fights at 160. He's a southpaw. He's a Brazilian Olympian, silver medalist. And I believe he's been under the watchful eye of Robert Garcia his entire career. He's a top-ranked fighter, and he's looking for a belt. He has called out Ryota Murata, but we don't know if that. We haven't heard if that's an option for him. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at Esquiva Falcao. Erick DeLeon, he was scheduled to fight. He had a scheduled summer fight with Jason Sosa, I believe, in Philadelphia, but for some reason or another, that fight was canceled. But he says there's good news coming soon. Erick DeLeon, 19-0, 10 knockouts. He's from Detroit, Michigan. I believe his family's from Sabinas, Mexico, Nuevo León. He fights at 130. I believe he's been fighting at 130 for approximately 10 years. So the move to 135, he said, might be possible in the near future. At Team DeLeon1 on Instagram if you want to follow him. Hector Tanajara improved to 18-0, 5 knockouts. He fought on the undercard of stablemate Vergil Ortiz in Grand Prairie, Texas. So he is the current WBC 135 lightweight youth champion. At Hector_Tanajara, if you want to follow him on Instagram, he's from San Antonio, Texas. He's signed to Golden Boy Promotions. He called out Ryan Garcia. So I believe Ryan Garcia has a fight scheduled for September 14th. So maybe by the end of the year or first thing next year, both of these Golden Boy promoted fighters could get in the ring. Carlos Caballo Bronco, 18-0, 14 knockouts. His last fight was in June at the Pachanga Casino and Resort. He's the current NABF and NABO champion at 154. At Caballo Bronco on Instagram if you want to follow him. Another Dominican Republic fighter training out of RGBA along with Caballo Bronco is El Phoenix Marinez, 18-0, 5 knockouts. He's a super lightweight. His fight was in July. At EL_Phoenix if you want to follow him on Instagram. Jonathan Thunder Navarro, 16-0, 8 knockouts. He is still part of the RGBA family, but he is training out of the Maywood Boxing Club. And he put out an interesting post and called out Luis Feliciano, who just fought from San Diego, Genaro Gamez. They won a full 10 rounds, and Luis Feliciano was awarded the win. We have not seen Jonathan Thunder Navarro in the ring since I believe it was last December. I believe it was in Indio. I believe him and Hector fought in the first or second week of December of last year. So here we are in August, and we have not seen him in the ring. So he's pretty much inactive. So it's interesting that he'd call out Luis Feliciano. But it is what it is. At Thunder Navarro on Instagram if you want to follow him. He's from East LA. He signed to Golden Boy Promotions. All his fights have been under the watchful eye of Robert Garcia. So he called out Luis Feliciano. So he wants a competitive fight. At Thunder Navarro on Instagram if you want to follow him. Carlos Licona, 15-1. He is scheduled to fight in Bakersfield September 21st. I believe that's a PBC promoted event. So that might be TGB or it might be another promoter. There are 20 fighters scheduled to fight on that card in Bakersfield. So him and another 2 fighters from RGBA will be there. At Mexicanito12 on Instagram if you want to follow him. He lives in Orange County in Westminster. He fights at, I believe he's made the move from 105 to 108. And I believe he's got the international WBC belt. I think he earned that this summer in a fight in Guadalajara, Jalisco, if I'm not mistaken. And his family's from La Ciudad de Mexico. So Carlos Licona, 15-1, 2 knockouts. He's had 3 or 4 fights, maybe probably 5 fights now with RGBA. He had a couple fights in Tijuana, and then he had a fight in Puerto Rico, and then he's had that big, huge fight on the Tyson Fury Wilder card where he became champion. And then he lost his belt in February of this year, but he's come back with a solid win in Guadalajara. So at Mexicanito12, Carlos Licona, looking for another title shot, possibly at 108. Joshua El Profesor Franco, 15-1-2. He had a draw against Oscar Negrete. That's the 3rd time they win. The 3rd time they fight. He fights at 118. He's fought as low as 115. He's from San Antonio. He's the older brother to Jesse Bam Rodriguez, and he's signed to Golden Boy Promotions. At 1 Professor Franco, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Vergil Ortiz Jr. Headlined his own event there in Grand Prairie on August 10th. His opponent was San Diego's Antonio Orozco, who was 28-1. Now he's 28-2. Orozco's only loss was to stablemate of Vergil, Jose Carlos Ramirez. In the first round, Vergil looked very good and looked like he was going to have the possibility to get him out in the first round. But Antonio Rosco is a very durable, a very strong fighter. And it took Vergil, 2, 3, 4 more rounds to make the adjustments and start to set traps and put the game plan back together. And then finally, I believe it was in the 6th round when he got 2 knockdowns. And I think after the 3rd knockdown, the referee waved it off. So Vergil Ortiz Jr. looked very, very good. Most impressive with him was his post-fight interview. He was very prepared to answer questions about fighting Errol Spence at 147, and his response was that if the fight with Errol Spence was ever to happen, it'd be at 154, and that it would be, about 10 fights down the line, maybe when he's 24-0 or 25-0. And another question was also about all the rumors about Canelo and Golden Boy, and there being a lot of rumors about things not going so well. And Vergil remained very professional and said, a lot of them are rumors, but I am promoted by one of the best promoters in the world, so Golden Boy Promotions. So good for Vergil. He was you could tell he was very well prepared, or maybe he's always prepared for the media. But I was thoroughly impressed of his answers and his answers to those very tough questions about Errol Spence and Canelo and Golden Boy, and some other tough questions as well. So if you want to follow him, he's at Vergil Ortiz. If you want to follow his dad, who goes live a lot on Instagram to give us behind the scenes of his son's training, and at Vergil Ortiz SR, so at Vergil Ortiz Sr. If you want to follow his dad, Vergil Ortiz, one of the fights at 140, signed to Golden Boy Promotions, one of the hottest. I'm not going to call him a prospect. I'm going to call him a contender, because his dad says anybody at 147 with a belt can get it. So Vergil Ortiz Jr., 14-0 from Grand Prairie, Texas. Joseph Adorno, 13-0, 11 knockouts, scheduled to fight October 18th, 2019 in Pennsylvania. At Real Joseph Adorno, he's I believe he fights at 130. He's signed to Top Rank. Of all his 13 fights, I think Robert Orpita has been in the corner for 12 of them. So Joseph Adorno from Top Rank, from Allentown, Pennsylvania. At Real Joseph Adorno on Instagram if you want to follow him. Louie Coria, 12-2-0. He has moved from the date. He has moved from being on the Prospects Collide 2 to being on September 14th on the Tyson Fury undercard. That is big, 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 big news. All his fights have been usually on Mikey's undercards on the same fight dates as Mikey, but this is the first on Garcia Promotion fights. He did have one fight in Tucson under the Raging Bay promoted event where he suffered a loss, but this is big news because he is on his own with Top Rank. I think Isidro Ochoa is fighting. He's a stablemate of him, but this is good news. Some of the fighters that have been mostly fought in-house are now fighting under big promotional events. So congratulations to Louie Coria, 12-2-0, fighting on September 14th on the Tyson Fury undercard. At King Louie 416 if you want to follow him on Instagram. He is a local kid from Moreno Valley, and he fights at 135. No, he fights at 126 in the featherweight. Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno, 2-0. I meant to put this slide next to his brother Joseph Adorno's. He's 2-0. He'll be fighting on the same day as his brother in Philadelphia, and Pennsylvania, at Magic Hands _Jeremy. John El Terrible Bauza, 13-0. No news on him. His last fight was on July 13th on the Shakur Stevenson undercard. He's promoted by Top Rank. At Real John Bauza on Instagram if you want to follow him. Hector Valdez improved to 11-0. He's a super bantamweight. He is a friend, I believe, of Joshua Franco. He did a couple weeks of training in Riverside for the August 10th date. 11-0. He fought on August 10th. And I don't know if he's officially part of the team, but congratulations to Hector Valdez. Lindolfo Delgado, 10-0, 10 knockouts. He is fighting September 28th in Staples Center on the Spence Porter undercard. He is promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. At Lindolfo Delgado if you want to follow him on Instagram. He fights at 140. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 10-0, 6 knockouts. He's promoted by Tekken Promotions. No news on him. He did headline his own show in Floresville this summer, and he got a third round knockout, as his stablemate Biggie did as well. At 210 Bam, if you want to follow him on Instagram. I believe he fights at 108, and he is a southpaw. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton fought this summer, improved to 10-0 with 7 knockouts. At Team Bulletproof on Instagram, if you want to follow him. I believe he fights at 175. Misael El Chino Rodriguez has been out of the ring for an entire year. He's 9-0, 4 knockouts. He is scheduled to fight on the Spence Porter undercard. He is also promoted with Lindolfo by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. At Misael OTEE on Instagram if you want to follow him. Genaro El Conde Gamez suffered his first loss of his career. It was a 10-rounder. It was in Indio on August 22nd. He showed that he had a lot of grit. It's just that Luis Feliciano came better prepared and had a better game plan for that night. So Genaro Gamez staying positive. He's posted on Instagram that it's a learning experience and that he's looking for the future. So Genaro Gamez, promoted by Golden Boy Promotions from San Diego. He had made the move to, I believe, 140. I think his last fight was at a catch weight of 138. Luis Feliciano might have been a move to 140. So definitely the weight, the bigger weight division affected the fight. So Genaro El Conde Gamez, 9-1, 6 knockouts from San Diego. At Genaro Gamez on Instagram if you want to follow him. Aaron the Silencer McKenna, 8-0, 5 knockouts. He is with Golden Boy Promotions. Him and his brother have joined Team RGBA. Ray Danger Muratalla, 8-0, 5 knockouts. He was scheduled to fight on September 6th, but as of yesterday, he's not on BoxRec, so that might be a canceled date. At Ray_Muratalla1 if you want to follow him on Instagram. Ruben Rodriguez, 8-0. He will be on the Prospects Collide 2 in San Bernardino in a week or so, September 6th. So he's fought in January, March, April, June, August, and September. So he's pretty much fought 6 times in 9 months. So he's the most active fighter on Team RGBA, him and Alexis Espino. Alexis Espino, I believe, has fought 4 times in 7 or 8 months as well. So very active fighters. He's from Indio. He fights at 140. At Ruben NR_. I believe he has another brother that goes by the name of Manny. I think they call him Big Baby, who might be turning pro next year, 2020. At Ruben NR_, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Aaron Morales, the most active RGBA fighter of last year, fought 5 times in 9 months. Will be fighting September 21st in Bakersfield on a PBC promoted event. It might be TGB Promotions. He is from Oklahoma, 7-0, 3 knockouts. At Aaron_Morales, if you want to follow him on Instagram. I believe he fights at 118. Brian Lua, one of the most talented fighters in the gym, 5-0, 2 knockouts. No update on him. He is promoted by Top Rank. At Brian_Lua, he's from the Central Valley. Robert Biggie Rodriguez improves to 5-0. He just fought at the Saboba Casino this summer, along with Aaron Morales. So he's scheduled to fight. And then he also fought in Floresville on stablemates Jesse Bam Rodriguez's card. So, and also got a 3rd round knockout. So September 21st in Bakersfield, Robert Biggie Rodriguez. I believe he fights at 112, which is flyweight. At Biggie Jr. _ on Instagram. Ivan Garcia, 5-0, 5 knockouts, fights at 118. He's going to have his RGBA pro debut September 6th at the Club Center events in San Bernardino. At Ivan_Garcia, replaced the A in Ivan with the number 3. He's from Paris, California. And like I mentioned, he's going to be having his RGBA pro debut. He was just on a video this week. I put it out on Twitter. I shared Ellie's video where Ivan is doing some mitt work with Robert Garcia. So if you want to follow him, he's at IV3N_Garcia on Instagram. Breenan Macias, 3-0-2, will be on the event as well. Prospects Collide 2, there on September 6th. He is training right now at a F1 gym in Phoenix, Arizona. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at B_flight301. Izaac Colunga has come home from Denver to back to the Inland Empire. So if you want to follow updates on him, at Carrie Colunga is his mom. Shelly_Shell12 is his aunt. And Dodger Girl 19, if you want to follow him, he's at team_Colunga. Prayers for Izaac Colunga in his recovery. Stevie Hitman McKenna, along with his brother, have joined RGBA. He fought at the Hawaiian Garden on August 3rd. And I believe he fights at 140. There you see him with Jose Ramirez sparring. Evan Sanchez from the Central Valley RGBA is 5-0, 3 knockouts. He fights at 147. At Real Evan Sanchez on Instagram if you want to follow him. Manny Gucci Manny Flores, 8-0. Made his RGBA pro debut on Legends Collide on June 23rd in San Bernardino. At Gucci Manny if you want to follow him on Instagram. I believe he fights at 118. I believe he's a southpaw. There you see him with Abner Mares. I believe he's promoted by Cameron Duncan's Now promotion. Alfredo Escarcega from F1 Gym in Phoenix, Arizona, was brought in to spar Mikey in his preparation for the Errol Spence fight. And he did his pro debut with RGBA in this summer. So he's 8-0 with 4 knockouts, and he's going to have another fight September 6th on Prospects Collide 2. Some of them are calling it Latin Fury. Some people are calling it, some flyers are out there with Prospects Collide 2. So either way, if you want to follow Alfredo Escarcega, he is at ae.jr on Instagram. Isidro Ochoa, 7-0. He's a bantamweight southpaw. He's scheduled to fight on the Tyson Fury undercard in Las Vegas, September 14th, along with Louie Coria. So you can follow Isidro Ochoa on Instagram or on Twitter. He goes by IGO. So the pro record for Team RGBA is currently 58-5-3. They went the entire second quarter 19-0 undefeated. They suffered most of their losses in the beginning of the year with Josesito Lopez, Brandon Rios, Mikey Garcia, and Carlos Licona. That's 4 of them. And then 1 more loss with Genaro Gamez recently. 3 draws, 2 by B-Fly and 1 with Joshua Franco. The amateur record I kind of lost track of. It's 16-4 from the fight from the little bit that I've been following. There's 5 tournaments that Pita has shared publicly. So 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 5-0, and 5-1 in Menifee adds up to 16-4. But that number might be incorrect. I gotta check with Pita Garcia. So thank you to the official photographer of Team RGBA, who goes by Cumbia. And thank you to all the fighters, all the trainers, all the media and managers who post updated pictures on their IG to allow us to keep updated on Team RGBA. So a special shout out for Ellie from ES News, a special shout out for Rainbow for Fight Hype, a special shout out to Cumbia for going live on his IG. Another person who goes live on his IG a lot is Frank Dick One, which is Frank Silva, and also Vergil Sr. So thank you for all of you for updating us on the fighters, on the managers, and pretty much on the gym so that we can get the latest information on Team RGBA. Please like and subscribe. I'm Sonteo Media on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram at Sonteo_media. Thank you and have a great day. More videos coming soon.